Hello everybody, my name is Starrapter and welcome to the channel. It's time for another Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order video, and I will not get tired doing these videos because I cannot wait for this game. It's looking fantastic. So today's video is going to be all about breaking down the gameplay trailer that premiered during Microsoft's press conference at E3 2019. So looking at the first shot here in the trailer, we have BD-1, the trusty companion droid of the Jedi Padawan Calcastus, who you play as in this game. This shot shows me that the aquatic type of gameplay is a big deal for this game, and it also shows us that BD-1 is a very versatile droid that can actually be fully submerged in water without any damage. It does make sense because BD-1 is an explorer droid, first of its kind in all of Star Wars. Next up could be my favorite shot in this entire trailer, and one of my favorite shots in all of Star Wars right now as of recent times, because look at these AT-ATs covered in this kelp, and they're wading through this water on Kashyyyk, and the atmospheric kind of feel with the fog. You can see other walkers in the distance, and it's really cool that these walkers are actually that early Macquarie design that was actually seen in Star Wars Rebels. So really great job with the continuity, such attention to detail. And if you really look closely in the background, you can see what looks like the silhouette of a Republic gunship. That's right, an LAAT looks like it is in the game, which is very interesting because if you look at the timeline of this game, they are saying it's a couple years after Revenge of the Sith. So I figured that these ships would be decommissioned, but I guess the Empire is still using them. So very interesting there. Next up, we got a close shot of Calcastus. You can see him there at the bottom of the screen. He is actually climbing on the parts of the AT-AT that have been overgrown with kelp. So lots of cool traversal in this game, which is very similar to those of you that have played Uncharted or Assassin's Creed, games like that. So here we have the inside of an AT-AT, or an AT-AT if you guys prefer to say it that way, which we don't really see a lot of in Star Wars, and actually I don't think we've ever seen it except for The Empire Strikes Back. But this will be part of the mission, is that you're actually going to have to infiltrate the inside of an AT-AT, and in this next shot you see you actually get to pilot an AT-AT on the surface of Kashyyyk. And something I noticed right away is in this shot you are firing at a troop transport. That is like the original Hasbro type of vehicle that didn't appear in any of the movies, but then they did bring it into canon for Star Wars Rebels, so nice little callback there. This is a character that I did not expect to see in this game, and that is none other than Saw Gerrera, who has now made the jump into pretty much just every medium of Star Wars, from the comics to the TV series to the movies to the video games, and he is voiced, of course, by Forrest Whitaker, which is just amazing. I think it's awesome that this game is going to connect into the wider array of Star Wars, the wider lore of Star Wars. Calcastus is going to be intertwined with one of the people of the rebellion, or the early rebellion at this stage. If it's about 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, does that mean Saul, he's still kind of part of maybe something with Bail Organa, or what's going on there? Does he have the partisans? How extreme is Saw Gerrera at this point? Because we know he goes through some pretty tough times where he goes to Geonosis and he has these breathing problems, and we see him in Rogue One with the hair and he's going crazy. But this does look like it will be Saul in his prime. I mean, he's fighting the Imperials on Kashyyyk, and you see him using a grappling hook, and he's climbing on the the edge of an AT-AT. So this guy is very agile. I cannot wait to see him in action for sure. Next up is just a beautiful shot of Calcastus just observing the world of Kashyyyk, and I love how this is such a there's such dichotomy to this image where you have the Imperial refinery juxtaposed against the wildlife and the beauty that is Kashyyyk. Here we have an inhabitant of Kashyyyk. It's called a Wishock. I think that's how you pronounce it, the indigenous spiders on the planet. So what's really cool is that they actually are going to be like a third party in this game. For instance, like you actually see these spiders fighting the Imperials, and you can actually choose to stand back, and these will actually do the battle on its own, and either the Imperials or the spiders will come out on top. So I do enjoy that they actually implemented alien creatures that aren't sentient into the game. And also, these characters, these aliens, have appeared in other works of Star Wars, in Star Wars Life Debt, which takes place after the events of the original trilogy after Return of the Jedi, and you actually see that the Imperials are on Kashyyyk, and even though the Emperor's dead, they are still having a foothold on that planet, and well, these spiders get unleashed on them by the people in the Aftermath books, the people of the New Republic, and the spiders end up helping kill the stormtroopers, so I thought that was a pretty cool callback to that. Next up, we see a Akx Droid. Yeah, that's right. That's the same type of droid that was featured in Rogue One K2SO. These are enforcer droids. They will pound you to death. But what I thought was really cool is that you can actually interact with these droids and actually sever their limbs, which looks really cool in this image. Next up is a brand new trooper design to Star Wars, and this is the Flame Trooper. So I liked how there is elements of both a snowtrooper as well as the Imperial cadets featured in Star Wars Rebels. You could tell that faceplate looks a little bit different than your normal snowtrooper, and that is to augment their vision for using the flames. I'm sure about that. So I like the gameplay, of actually having to dodge. You see it in the gameplay demo that they showed off. Is you actually have to dodge this flame because it can get into you and it's gonna kill you pretty quick. So be very careful with this enemy type. Here, this image just shows the raw power of the Force that Calcastus does possess, even as a Padawan, and they did say at this point of the game, he is kind of past the level of Padawan, but I love the way that, the Force appears in this game. It does appear to have such impact. Here we have a brand new character in Star Wars. I think her name is pronounced Siri. It's Cere, so yeah, but she is a Jedi Knight, and she is trying to start up the Jedi Order, and Calcastus runs into her. She gives him a deal, and she says she will finish his Padawan training if he helps her cause with starting up the Jedi Order, so I cannot wait to experience what will happen there. Here is a nice little combat image of Calcastus literally throwing his lightsaber, hitting a stormtrooper who then falls off of this cliff face. So yeah, such dynamic combat in just an incredibly beautiful environment. Here's BD1, and he's being very useful with opening a door. So this droid can do lots of things, from giving you stim packs to using him as a flashlight to opening doors to scanning objects. This droid is just pretty much integral to your journey in Jedi Fallen Order. Here is something I've been waiting for from when they were first revealed at Celebration Chicago, is Calcastus going one-on-one with a Purge Trooper. These guys are forced to be reckoned with. They have this awesome electro staff that reminds me a lot of the Magna Guards, Grievous's bodyguards from Revenge of the Sith. This is the thoughtful combat that the developers were talking about, where you can't just hack and slash your way through things. Like, you actually have to stagger your enemy, you're going to have to dodge, you're going to have to counterattack. These are going to be hard-fought battles that will feel very rewarding when you defeat your opponents. Here we have the destruction of the Zetas Shuttle as seen in Rogue One. So there we go. Another great callback to a ship that I don't think we see enough of in Star Wars. Here's another new trooper design, well, sort of new. This, as you can see, resembles a scout trooper, but his armor is a little bit different than the ones we see on Endor. You can see he has a wider gap in the armor, and that is to, kind of make up for all the freedom of movement he's going to need with using this melee weapon. So I find it really interesting that we have these known troopers using different weaponry and different skills. Here we have the classic gameplay element that Respawn puts in all of its games, wall running. Here we see some really cool synergy between DB1 and Calcastus. He's using DB1 as a sort of zip line. Next up, we have what appears to me to be the planet of Brachus, and that is the planet that you will start on in this game. It is the planet that is where all the decommissioned Clone Wars vehicles go to be dismantled into the war effort for the Empire. But this specific scene shows Calcastus actually using the Force to force push back a rocket that is fired by an ATST. Man, does that look awesome. So this ship is a new design to Star Wars. It is called the Stinger Mantis. This is actually created by Doug Chang, as you might know, developed lots of awesome Star Wars concept. And this will be your key to getting around the galaxy. It has a hollow table. You can even customize the color of this ship. And here is the final image, and it does show that this game, as all Star Wars properties, does have quite a bit of humor. So that is going to do it for my breakdown of the Jedi Fallen Order gameplay trailer that was shown during E3 2019 at the Microsoft press conference. What did you guys see in this that I didn't see? What did you like in this trailer? Let's talk about it all in the comment section below. This isn't the only Jedi Fallen Order content that I have on the channel, though. I do have my breakdown of the reveal story trailer. I also talk a little bit about the gameplay being related to Metroid as well as Dark Souls, and I do have the origins of the Purge Trooper on the channel right now. I also will have more Jedi Fallen Order content coming out later on, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss that content. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.